Hi Stacey, this is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your beautiful brother sewing machine. And this is the final test before we pack her up to ship her out to you. And in this test, we're going to go over how to wind the bobbin, how to thread the machine, how to use the various controls, and also to answer your questions. We're going to start by winding a bobbin, and we can answer one of your questions right here because your bobbin is a class 15 bobbin. As long as you're holding this little latch on the bobbin case, your bobbin's not going to drop out, so you can move it around and insert it and stuff. So let go of that latch, you can drop the bobbin out. To wind the bobbin, put the thread on the spool pin, go into this thread guide here, down to the thread tensioner. This is the, not your main tension, this is your bobbin winder tension. And put the thread through one of the holes in the side of the bobbin. And hold it there while you put a few wraps on to hold the thread in place while the bobbin winds. Now with your thread going on over the top this way, slide the bobbin on the spindle of the bobbin winder and turn the rubber tire until the little keeper pin goes into the slot where it's on the side of the bobbin. Push the bobbin winder in, conveniently marked push right there, until the rubber tire comes in contact with the hand wheel, and the hand wheel will spin it and wind your bobbin. Declutch your machine by turning the chrome knob in the center of the hand wheel towards you a quarter turn or so until you feel it hit its stop. Now the hand wheel is disengaged from the rest of the machine, so it can spin and wind the bobbin without making the whole machine cycle. Okay, I guess we're ready to go. I see that your tension device needs a slight adjustment. It's winding towards the right side of the bobbin. Okay, that's plenty for our test. Pop the bobbin winder loose by pressing up on this lever. Slide your bobbin off. Recollect your machine by tightening the chrome knob. Then your bobbin goes into the bobbin winder. Into the bobbin case with the thread coming off the top in this direction. So you drop your bobbin in the bobbin case, guide the thread into this little slanted slot on the side and under the flat leaf spring until you feel it click in place. And this flat leaf spring is your lower tension. If you ever need to adjust your lower tension for any reason, that small screw in the side of the flat leaf spring is your adjustment. And you just turn it up in tiny increments, an eighth of a turn at the most, and then check the feel of it. You should have just enough tension on the bobbin to be able to dangle it without it unspooling. For some projects, like something very heavy duty, you may possibly need a little more tension. But for almost all of your sewing, it's going to be this tension that it's already set at. Holding the latch on the side and with this little finger pointing up, and your needle, of course, up out of the needle hole, slide it onto the spindle in the center of the bobbin race down below, in the center of the hook. And now we're ready to thread the machine. Put the spool on the spool pin, and your upper tension is over here. So go from the spool to the little curly Q thread guide on the face here, down between the discs of the tension assembly, go all the way around until you pick up this thin check spring over here. It's a little bit thinner than an average paper clip. Pick up that thread guide, check spring, and keep on going with your thread until you go into this little notch at the top. You're going to go almost all the way around, almost 360 degrees, until you come into that little notch. And from there, you go through the take-up lever, the thing that goes up and down as you sew, from the back of the machine towards the front. Then down into the thread guide on the faceplate, and to the thread guide down here on the needle clamp. Then go through the eye of the needle from the left to the right towards the center of the machine. To bring up your lower thread, hold your needle thread loosely, turn the hand wheel towards you one full revolution, and the needle will take the thread down, wrap it around the bobbin, and bring up your lower thread. There it is, your lower thread. Put the thread between the toes of the presser foot and towards the back of the machine. This is your stitch length. You asked if it was like the Singer 201. It's a strong, straight stitch machine like the Singer 201. The motor on the 201 is in a can here instead of hanging off the side. And it's a different kind of drive than this belt drive, but otherwise it's similar in a lot of ways. So your stitch length, the center at the 0 mark is it's the point where the fabric's not going to move forward or backwards. Going down from the center position, your stitch length gets longer and longer and longer. Each stitch gets bigger and bigger and bigger. From the 0 position going up, your stitches get longer and longer and longer, but in reverse. We'll set it down just a little bit below the 0. This little thumb screw on the side is your stitch length lock. Okay, we're going to set it about 15 stitches per inch. When your stitch lock makes contact with the lever, tighten down the screw, and now when you go into reverse, your stitches will be the same length in reverse, and when you come back to forward stitching, you'll go right back to the same stitch length, so there's no change. We're going to just leave that unlocked and all the way open so we have a full range of stitch lengths. Excuse me. Stitch length. This is your feed drop, this button here. If you want to do darning or patching or machine embroidery or write your name, you want to drop the teeth of the feed dogs so that they're not moving the fabric, because you want to be able to move it yourself. So turn this knob to the left, all the way to the left, and that brings your feed dogs down to where they never come up against above the top of the feed plate and move your fabric. And at the same time, you're going to want to release all the pressure on your sewing foot. So this little collar around this central shaft here on your pressure adjuster for your sewing foot, press that down, the center post pops up, and now you have little to no pressure on your sewing foot, and you're in control. When you're ready to go back to regular sewing, push that down roughly halfway for regular threaded fabric. May need a little more pressure if you're sewing something heavy, or a little less pressure if you're sewing something delicate. But about halfway for regular sewing. And turn your feed drop back to the normal position. Now the machine is moving your fabric for you, and you don't push or pull it, you just let the machine move it. Halfway between normal and all the way down is a setting for silk. That's for delicate fabrics that might be marred with by the teeth of the feed dogs. So this brings the teeth up, but not very far, so it doesn't pull so aggressively on your fabric. But for regular sewing, just leave it in the normal position. So that's tension. Right here is the mark that you're adjusting to, and I have it set so that number 3 here on the tension dial is for average fabric and thread. Again, if you're doing something heavy duty, you may need a little more tension or a little less tension for lighter duty, but around 3 is your ballpark. And let's sew something heavy duty. Let's start with 2 layers of regular denim. Probably cannot see it on the camera, but that's a nicely balanced stitch front and back. Here's some heavy duty denim. This is like from a pair of Carhartt logger pants. Here's 2 layers of that extra heavy denim. Maybe it's even duck, I'm not sure the difference. Again, nicely balanced front and back. So let's double that again. So we're doing 4 layers of extra heavy duty denim. So you see, it's a tough machine. I believe I have a piece of leather over here. Let's see what it does with leather. This is a kind of heavy for garment leather, but you know, usually purses or moccasins, that sort of thing. This is just a little bit heavier than that. Here's 2 layers of leather. This is just a regular needle. When you're sewing leather, you're going to want to use a leather needle, which has a different type of point, more of a chisel point than a sharp point. You're going to want to use a long stitch length and probably a little heavier duty thread. This will show you what it'll do. sew that leather all the way shut. So I'm going to cut that seam out. This is the leather I use for gripping, but you can see that it sewed it tight. So yeah, powerful machine. Oil her every 8 or so hours of sewing. There are oil holes here that you'll see on the top, on the bed, and it's one in the needle plate. And down below you'll see various oil holes. And also look for any points where metal moves against metal. However, anywhere that is going to create friction, you want to put a drop of oil. There's a thumb screw on the faceplate. Loosen that thumb screw, you can take the faceplate off and oil the movement points inside here. Once in a while, take the 2 screws out of the needle plate and lift it off, and then brush and vacuum out the dust and lint in there. Anyway, that's it. We'll get her packed up and ship her out to you, and I hope that I've answered all your questions. That's it. Thanks again.